Welcome to SVG-TV News for Wednesday, October 4th, 2017. I am Rochelle Batiste with the details. A call for an end to the 15-day special voters registration period was among the 16 issues itemized in a letter from opposition leader Dr. Godwin Friday, written to Prime Minister Dr. Ralph Gonsalves and copied to local, regional and international bodies under the heading, the need to address serious problems in our electoral system. The letter dated Monday, September 18, 2017, highlighted that the 15-day special voters registration period established under Section 17 of the Representation of Peoples Act has been a source of problems and complaints. At a media conference today, the NDP's lawyer K. Bacchus Batiste outlined from a report issued by the Organization of the American States, the OAS, that the 15-day special voters registration overloads the work of the electoral department, while the supervisor of elections described it as nerve-wracking. Bacchus Batiste said the call for the total removal of the 15-day special voters registration period is not, as the Prime Minister suggests, that the NDP is threatened by the young voters who registered during this time frame and vote for its ruling Unity Labour Party.
Listen to this, they agreed to it, they agreed to it. By way of parliamentary agreement between both the ULP and the NDP, a reduction was effected to the special electoral registration period from 19 to 15 days, and the law was amended. Well, if the law could be amended to do that, it can be amended to abolish it altogether. The OS is calling for it, Silver Finley herself is calling for it, all right-thinking Vincentians, and I'm asking you today, Vincentians, we must call for it. You know why? That is a period in which lots of persons rush to be registered, transferred, and you cannot check it. Let me read from the report of Silver Finley herself about what she says about special voter registration for the last election gone. The special voter registration period, which ended on Monday 23rd, 2015, again proved to be a most challenging exercise for all stakeholders in the process. The registration of voters was closely monitored, she said, by political parties, most notably the NDP. How are you going to monitor that? During the 15-day period. You have no access at all, so I do not believe that. It could not be, because you have no access at all to the list during the time that they're doing the registration.
Another of the concern raised by the NDP is the replacement of the current supervisor of elections, Silver Finley Scrub, as well as other election officials. Bacchus Batiste said that although it was highlighted in the Prime Minister's reply letter to Dr. Friday that Finley Scrub intends to demit office at the conclusion of the legal process initiated by the two election petitions, the conduct of the election supervisor has rendered her unsuitable for the job.
How can she say that? Was she in all the polling stations all over St. Vincent? I don't know if people see the gravity of what this woman has done. Fraud. Every time she opens her mouth, she says something in this matter that is she cannot substantiate. Then we mention the fact that she refused to answer letters from the NDP, and she will not take on our concerns. Hear what Dr. Gonsalves says in his letter. I want you to know about Mr. Silver Finley Scrub's integrity, honesty, character, and competence. And I urge you to speak to her blood relative, Bishop Leopold Friday of the Anglican Church, because we sent a letter to him from in his position. So he throws that in. He cannot help playing cheap politics. Yes. He throws that in, because this is a lady he says all these things about. No, I am not questioning her integrity and what generally, I'm just telling you what she did in a case that I am representing the petitioners for. That's what I'm saying. Judge for yourselves. As far as I'm concerned, she is not qualified to be supervisor of election. She has disqualified herself for all the reasons that we have given. In Dr. Gonsalves' letter, he said that she has said that she will not be supervisor anymore. That's what he says in his letter. We do not know. But in any event, we need to call for a independent supervisor of elections. So it is not a person. I'm not interested in the name of the person who holds the office. I'm interested in the function of the office, that it be fair and independent, somebody who will practice impartiality.
In a call to have election observer missions on the ground at an earlier time, Bacchus Batiste said that the OAS report has some duplex undertones and that Commonwealth election missions should also be included in the process.
People would not understand if we don't explain to them. After today's press conference, I expect the people now to be calling for the abolition of it, of the 15-day period, and to be calling for pre-OAS. Oh, there's another point I wanted to make, because I do not see any report by any Commonwealth observer mission for St. Vincent. To my mind, that is the mission we must call for. The OAS have been equivocal. They have said there is bias, there is unsealed ballot boxes, yet free and fair elections. Let us call for the Commonwealth Observer Group. That is the group we need to call for, to come and to supervise, to monitor our election.
Stuffed with falsehoods, hysteria, and hypocrisy. That is how Prime Minister Dr. Ralph Gonsalves has described the letter written to him by the opposition leader, Dr. Godwin Friday, over concerns about the country's electoral system. In his reply letter dated Monday, September 25, 2017, the Prime Minister claimed the opposition leader has a lack of proper understanding of the Constitution and of engaging in partisan politics. Responding to the 6 concerns raised by the opposition leader in his letter, the Prime Minister, who also has a portfolio for electoral affairs, said the special electoral registration period will remain despite calls for it to come to an end by the opposition NDP. PM Gonsalves accused the NDP of trying to subvert popular democracy and disenfranchise young first-time voters. As it relates to the call to have early observer missions on the ground, PM Gonsalves said that electoral observer missions have been invited to observe elections subsequent to the dissolution of Parliament and that there is a wisdom in the precedent. He also stated that there is no credible cause for premature election observer missions. In his synopsis on the issues raised in the letter by the NDP leader, the Prime Minister said it is for partisan political purpose and its circulation to local, regional and international bodies has an aim to denigrate the country and its democracy as well as undermine public confidence in the electoral system. In other news, the Calicut Town Hall building was opened on Tuesday, and according to speakers of the opening ceremony, the services to be provided at the building will leave an impact on Calicut and other surrounding communities. Nikita Tony tells us more in this report.
The building is officially open.
Funded by the government of St. Vincent and the Grenadines in collaboration with the government of the Republic of China on Taiwan, the newly opened Calicut Town Hall building was constructed at an estimated cost of $2.4 million EC dollars. Measuring some 9,200 square feet, the building houses the Calicut Town Board Office, the Post Office, the Magistrate Court, the Community Hall, an Early Childhood Center, and a library. At the official opening ceremony on Tuesday, October 3rd, Chief Engineer Brent Bailey thanked all partners for their support, hard work, and dedication in making the facility a reality.
So this facility is a learning resource center plus. It does add considerable value to the lives of the constituency of East St. George and the people in Calicut, Glen, Choppins, Fair Hall, who will use this structure.
Former area representative Clayton Bergen gave an overview of the concept behind transforming the old town hall building into what it is today. He said the facility is a welcomed addition to the Calicut community.
I am happy to have started this process of giving this community a wonderful structure that will serve the people of SVG, not only St. George, but the entire community of SVG, because persons would want to maybe come and use the hall that is here from other community for you to use for for your own development and the development of your brothers and sisters.
Initially contributing 1.5 million EC dollars to the initiative in 2010, the government of Taiwan, according to the Taiwanese ambassador to SVG, His Excellency Bershun Ge, is pleased to have played a role in the development of the project.
2015, an additional amount of 200,000 EC dollars under the Civic Development Program was allocated for the project to complete it. Today, like all other fruition of our collaboration for many years, we are here to witness the completion of this project. The town hall is now a fully functional multi-purpose building that can provide many services to the community.
Noting that the new facility is the first of its kind in SVG, Area Representative Camila Gonçalves called on the constituents to utilize the building so it can become greater than the sum of its individual parts.
I want us to lock it up. I want it to throb with the energy of Caliqua. I want it to feel the energy of this community. I want there to be classes here to teach young people. I want there to be dramatic productions. I want us to come and see the children from Miss Young's preschool giving us performances here. I want us to use it.
Deeming the building as a top-class facility, featured Speaker Prime Minister Dr. Ralph Gonçalves urged residents of the community to take advantage of the services provided at the Town Hall facility.
Expected that this project will be used to the fullest. You, the people of Caliqua, deserve this facility. I had told you from Parliament that just wait a little bit longer. It is coming, and when it comes, it would be magnificent.
Built to provide better social, educational, judicial, and cultural services to constituents, the new Town Hall building is expected to enhance the overall development of the community of Caliaqua and other surrounding areas. Nikita Tony reporting for SVG-TV News.
And Member of Parliament for the East St. George constituency, Camila Gonçalves, who also serves as Minister of Information, pointed out at yesterday's opening ceremony that he made a request to the National Telecommunications Regulatory Commission, the NTRC, to equip the building with modern fiber optic internet connection. This, according to Minister Gonçalves, resulted in the newly opened facility having the fastest, most reliable internet connection when compared to other learning resource centers and schools across SVG.
This town hall is close to the Coast Guard station, and the Coast Guard station doesn't have an old-fashioned fiber copper connection. They have modern fiber that brings internet faster and more reliably than you get it in your house. So I said, on the Gonçalves principle, that if you are close to an asset, you can thief off a piece. I asked the NTRC not to use limes, flows, copper that comes to your houses here, but to run a piece of fiber from the Coast Guard station to this facility. As a result, this facility has faster, more reliable internet than any other school or learning resource center in St. Vincent and the Grenadines.
Gonçalves pointed out that while other learning resource centers have one internet access point, the Town Hall facility has multiple access points so as to give greater internet access to those who will be using the facility, especially the youth.
Internet has to be accessible not only in this building, but all around this building. And the young people, if you look, you will see antennas on the outside of this building pointing outwards. So you can get internet across the street, down into the square, and on this side of the building. And the young people have already figured that out, because Apollo gave me some notes here that said that last week, over 4,000 unique devices access the internet using this facility. And over 100 gigabytes, not bytes, not kilobytes, not megabytes, but gigabytes of data was poured out of a closed building. Nobody was in here. But over 100 gigabytes of data was already used by the young people. And I talked to them the other day. I saw all of them with their phone. They say, I know where the internet coming from, but we are internet.
Two Vincentians, Donique Bilingi, CARICOM Youth Ambassador, SVG Committee member, and Stefano Bilingi, a member of the RSVG Police Force, has been selected and will represent St. Vincent and the Grenadines at the 19th World Festival of Youth and Students, which will take place in Russia from October 14 to the 22nd. The delegates will unite with over 20,000 young leaders from more than 150 countries. The WFYS aims to consolidate international youth communities, strengthen international ties, as well as promote international intercultural cooperation. One of the main goals of the upcoming festival is shaping a common vision of the future by the young leaders from different countries, trying to articulate responses to the most pressing challenges of the generation. The main agenda of the discussion program is to encompass the 17 Sustainable Development Goals adopted by the United Nations. The delegates will leave St. Vincent and the Grenadines on October 11th. Christians from various denominations as well as concerned citizens from across St. Vincent and the Grenadines filled the streets of capital Kingston earlier today with songs and prayers as a spiritual force against the crime and violence in the country. The initiative was spearheaded by the New Testament Church of God. Minister at the New Testament Church of God, as well as chairman of the recently concluded National Day of Prayer, Sean Roberts, told our news team the march and rally was an avenue for Christians to show their strength and ask for God's help in bringing peace to the country.
God gave our bishop the vision to have a march and rally. That is why we are here today. We march from high school bus stop, went right down into the Tokyo, stop at the Tokyo and we some prayer rallies. And we are happy today what God is doing in our land. And as the chairperson for National Day of Prayer that just come to on Monday, I'm excited to be a part of what is happening today in our nation, where we, as the body of Christ, are praying and call upon God. And then it is marvelous because we started at 11:30, high day time, and persons just joined. And I'm thankful to God. It is not about a denomination, but it is an interdenominational. The person from various churches join us here in the rally, and we are happy and excited as to what God has done and what God is doing in our land.
Roberts took the opportunity to encourage parents to reintroduce Christ into the lives of their children in order to assist in building a better St. Vincent and the Grenadines.
It's pretty, very powerful. It is something I've been calling on. I've been calling our parents to get back to order. Get back to biblical times, whereby you make it a must that your children go to Sabbath school, Sunday school, because the same way parents take the time and make sure that children go to secular school to get the education. The spiritual aspect is important. The Bible said, train up a child in the way he should go, and when he's old, he will not depart from it. And Sunday school, Sabbath school is about training our children, young minds, bringing them up, training them for the future and for what God will want to do with them.
Pastor Roberts also called on all Vincentians to join in the upcoming activities to celebrate SVG's 38th year of independence, along with building a peaceful, God-fearing society.
Again, as a chairperson for the National Day of Prayer Committee that just finished last Monday, I know the Day of Prayer is the beginning of our independence activities. So I want the opportunity to invite our nation to be a part also of the independence activities, because the National Day of Prayer starts the month with prayer. And we know this month is our independence month as we celebrate 38 years of independence. We as a church come together to pull down strongholds in our nation as we believe God for great things in our land.
Our news team also caught up with some persons taking part in the event who said it was a timely one in light of the recent killings taking place here.
And all these things. But the whole idea here from this prayer is a good idea to lift back up the nations, to know in communities where children are raised, that they're raised in the right environment. Children have left the environment in which they're raised. No more as the olden days where a community will raise a child. The child has become deviant and the child has chosen to go his own way. But in this time, we need this, because we need to bring the people back to God.
I'm feeling real great about this rally because I feel it's a way forward. I feel a step forward for the nation, fresh air, a new season, a new tomorrow.
Something that we need in this country to break and to just encourage Vincentian to serve the Lord. Stop the killing, the hatefulness that causes murder and this destruction. God is a good God. He's coming soon. And one of these days, He will be true and faithful. We will see Him as our Savior. Praise the name of the Lord.
You cannot hurt a 6-year-old child. Oh my God, I'm asking God for His mercy upon St. Vincent and the Grenadines. I am asking God to take us back to the place where we once knew God. It is not easy, and I pray God that that person, whoever has done that to that 6-year-old, she's a baby. She is a baby, and that person needs to be brought to justice. And I want to thank you. May the Lord have mercy on us. And if we don't repent, trust me, we are blessed, but we don't know what would happen to us. We are no different to the other country. Righteousness exalts a nation, and sin is a reproach. God bless you.
With goodness in the human civilization, there is some badness. And Prime Minister Dr. Ralph Gonsalves is urging all Vincentians to focus more on the positive aspects and the faithfulness of God instead of being burdened by lamentation. Delivering the feature address at the opening of the Calicut Town Hall building on Tuesday, PM Gonsalves said there are many who continuously highlight the bad within the society and cover persons with a sense of doom. However, Vincentians must not fall prey to these instances or such sort of thinking.
Do so by combining divine inspiration and human intelligence, human creativity. Look around us here today and let those who are prophets of doom and gloom, let them close their eyes to what is before us now. We must not underestimate them. And we have to fight and struggle to ensure that citizen security is held aloft. And there are several things which we have been doing and more things to be done, including in the family.
Outlining that many persons involved in crime simply refuse to use their God-given talents to live an honest life, the Prime Minister reiterated his government's commitment in maintaining law and order here in St. Vincent and the Grenadines.
It's better to have education in your head and skill in your hands than to be stuffed with ignorance, because that is the most dangerous weapon of mass destruction. We have worked together and produced this. We have a functioning civilization, and no set of gunmen, no set of violent criminals can shake our civilization.
The Prime Minister also gave a word of advice to persons involved in gun-related crimes here.
Get the message to them. Look, it might appear to be the easier path, but it carries enormous risks of jail, serious injury, or premature death. Try to get out of that business. And if we know anybody who is in that business, your family members, try and talk to them. And we have enough opportunities for training. Let's get these things going.
And the police are conducting investigations into the death of Lamar Scott, a 34-year-old unemployed man of Camden Park, which occurred at Camden Park on Tuesday night. It has been reported that the deceased was on his way home when he was attacked by an unknown assailant. He sustained gunshot wounds to his head. Scott's death brings the total number of homicides here for the country to date to 33.